first, did you live for yourself or somebody else? One of the main groups of people who start new businesses are empty nesters, because they realize that for most of their life, they were somebody's husband, wife, son, daughter. They went to become a doctor because their family said they should, and they never wanted to do that. And now they're going to come out and create their own business of what they want to do in life. Should they have written their obituary at 20, 21 years old to say, maybe I don't want to go to medical school because I'm just not set up for that. They also do a couple of things. When they wake up in the morning, they don't answer any emails. They will not answer any emails for the first hour. Most of them will not answer emails for the first hour. Because if you wake up in the morning answering emails, you're answering everybody else's damn problem. You don't get an email saying, remember all those problems I called you about yesterday? Well, I solved them and I'm sending you a check. That just doesn't happen, right? So if you wake up in the morning for the first hour, don't answer anybody's email. You can send out as many emails as you want, because remember, your inbox is your defense, your outbox is your offense.
Because everybody's trying to be the next Steve Jobs, the next Martin Scorsese, the next Puff Daddy, the next Jay-Z, or so on. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so there's so much competition. Like when I started, there was nobody really trying to do what I was doing. And so I think that it's very important to know the reality. So my advice to future entrepreneurs is to always know the reality. Know what you're getting yourself into. Know how hard it's going to be, how competitive it's going to be. But even with that being said, I think there's more chances today than ever to get seen and heard, to get noticed. And I think that we're in a time where the people that really, really work hard and really, really believe in themselves and really, really don't give up on their dreams, no matter how many times they fall down, are the ones that's going to be successful. And one of the most important things is that day, I would say, my advice is for people to kind of ramp it up, because a lot of times when you're young and you in your 20s or something, you're like, I don't really know what I want to do. But we live in a different world. It's important for you to know what you want to do for the future of your family. So it's a scary thing to make that decision. This is what I want to do. But the sooner you make that decision, I think the better it'll be for your life, and the better chance of success you'll have, because you'll have more time to mess up. Right. You have more time to fall down.
And if you were coming up today, would you kind of go the unpaid internship route? Would you be willing to do that again?
Yeah, I mean, if I was coming today, I would do whatever it would take for me to get to the information. I think that no matter what, it could have been in the times of Jesus, before Jesus, caveman times. It was about being around the information. Back in caveman times, it was about who knows how to make a fire, because my ass is cold. Now it's like, who really knows who is successful in this day and age and how they are successful. So I think that our educational system needs to be fixed in a sense, because a degree means something to me, but experience kind of means more, and a point of view of where people want to go kind of mean more than somebody saying I have a master's from Harvard or whatever. No, I need to know, are you ready to go to war with me? That's what I need to know.
If you ain't got no money, then I don't know. You still need to learn how to save money, because you're gonna have money. I don't think everybody's gonna be rich, but everybody's gonna have a point in their life where they have some thousands of dollars to their name. When you come from nothing, like when you grow up and you never really have nothing to show, and you make it out of that situation, it's natural for a person to celebrate and be happy. Man, I remember I didn't have nothing, and now I got all this money, these cars, jewelry. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's six of us, and it was my mama boyfriend, my stepdad. He really raised me. I got 3 little sisters and I got 2 little brothers, and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment since I was born all the way till I was like 15. Not having school clothes, wearing cheap clothes, not wearing the nicer things, not eating the nicer things. Like, I just want to show the world, like, man, I did it. Like, y'all can do it too. Whatever you do, don't focus on your money. Focus on making more money. When I go do a show, I don't even care how much I made. I'm on to the next show. Don't think that you can chill out like, oh, I made this much, I'm good now, I can go celebrate. Like, nah, keep on. Never stop hustling. And my third tip would be, make sure you got something to where your money is gonna make money for you. your late 30s, early 40s, you're gonna want to start celebrating and enjoying your life. So make sure you invest in something that can make you money to where you don't have to actively be involved. It just
Even like that. My daddy wasn't like that with my mama, Kevin, but you like that with me.
Right.
Any woman I ever had dealings with, I can go back and have dealings with them again. Not because, and you can keep the house, the cars, you can keep whatever I bought you. People call it tricking, but I feel like no. You supposed to want the person you with to have the best. And I aim to please my partner, whatever partner I'm with at the time. So okay, I watched, with my mom, well, give me this back and give me that back. Once she don't want to have no dealings with you no more, no, you can keep that. Because those are tangible things. I was the blessing. Yeah, you gonna miss me. Because I was always honest with you. Whatever your religion was, I accepted it. Because I believe in positive energy. It's good if it works for you, whatever it is. As far as my spiritual beliefs, I don't really speak about that, but I feel like it should be exhibited in my character.
Okay.
You know who I am.
Why don't you speak about your spiritual beliefs?
Because, big brother, when you kind of put yourself in a box, and I got so many different friends, there's so many different other things, and I don't want to be offensive to anyone because they're all great people. No matter their spiritual beliefs, they're great people. And I thought that we wasn't supposed to judge. So if I'm with this group and we saying that those people are wrong because they don't believe what we believe, and this group saying those people are wrong because we're judging. So I just want to take myself out of that box. And I want to love people for themselves. If I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't mind you knowing that I don't like you. Because I don't have to like you, whoever you are. And then you can say whatever you want to about Kevin because that's your opinion. Like I heard a rapper one day, he got upset because he said somebody said that he was pussy. You could say that that's your opinion. You could say, man, Kevin Gates, he fake, he pussy. You told me, but you got to show me. You never showed me yet.
Right.
So I ain't tripping about your opinion.
Do the rich people cringe and say, don't tell them that, Robert?
Yes. Don't tell people what you know.
Right.
Keep them poor. So my father was the head of education, PhD, all that stuff. I go home and ask him, said, why don't we learn about money in school? And he looked at me and says, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach. And I thought that was strange. And I said, but aren't we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job. I said, but you get a job to earn money. He goes, no, you're supposed to just get a job. I went, no. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money? He goes, you're correct. I said, so why don't I just learn about money? I can skip the job part, And he got flustered and he said, if you want to learn about money, why don't you ask your best friend's father about money? And I said, why? That's Mike. So I asked him. He says, because Mike's father is an entrepreneur. And I said, what are you? He says, I'm an employee. I'm a government employee. I went, oh, what's the difference? He says, the difference is an entrepreneur must know about money, or they're no longer entrepreneurs. And he says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money because the government will take care of them, the company will take care of them. So I'm all confused. But I took my dad's advice and I trundled over to Mike's father's office and knocked on his door and I said, hey, I'm here, 9 years old. Teach me about money. He says, beat it, kid, But that's where the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad started. And finally, through persistence, my rich dad started teaching me about money on one condition. And that condition was he would never pay me. He says, the moment I pay you, you think like an employee. He says, that's the trap. Entrepreneurs work for free. And now I'm 9 years old, my head's going cracking in half. He says, you never want a paycheck. You understand that, kid? I said, okay, I got it. And he says, well, how do I make money? He says, that's what entrepreneurs figure out. It's like, so how do I learn about money? So he would just break out a Monopoly game board. So I would work for free. I'd pick up cigarette butts, and he had hotels and restaurants, and I would clean and do menial tasks. And as I got older, I started getting into office work and marketing and accounting and I was an apprentice basically, but I always worked for free. And he would teach me about money, but the way he taught me about money was playing Monopoly. And finally one day I got upset. I said, well, when are you going to teach me about money? He says, what do you think we're doing? We're playing Monopoly. He goes, no. What do you think we're doing? We're playing Monopoly. He says, what do you think we're doing? So I don't know. I'm teaching you about money. And then that's when, you have one greenhouse. He says, there's many formulas for great success in money. There's thousands of them, but one of the best ones found on the game of Monopoly. It still is today. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. I said, what? He says, one of the greatest ways to acquire great wealth is playing Monopoly in real life. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. But is that all there is? He goes, that's it. And he says, what do you think I'm doing? And I went, I don't know. So then he took me out and he showed me his greenhouses. And 10 years later, when I was 19, I was now in school in New York, and I come back to Hawaii, and Rich Dad had bought the biggest piece of land smack dab in the middle of Waikiki Beach. And when you go to Waikiki Beach today, you'll see the Hyatt Regency Hotel. That was his hotel.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Acquired assets and they became bigger assets.
He just kept what's called an assemblage, because that property wasn't that big at the time, so he had to buy out all the small guys. Because Waikiki was a little dirt water little town. So he'd buy out this shop owner and buy that shop owner. And it took him a while, but he finally assembled this large piece of property. And then he and Hyatt put up this giant hotel. It just sold for $800 million. So that's how I learned about money.
A lot of people ask, how much do you sleep? And my answer is 6, 7, or 8 hours. And it fucks with people, right? Because they think I'm sleeping like an hour. And my point there is, sleep's important. Like, I don't know, like, who thinks they're gonna survive without sleep. Sleep's important. What's important for what I'm about is what you're doing when you're awake. I'm fascinated by people who, like, say, I hustle, I sleep 4 hours, but then watch 3 hours of YouTube videos a day, right? And so for me, as you know, and what you're referring to as somebody who interacts with me is, Tyler's sending you emails like, can you do 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 p.m.? Like, every minute I have is programmed.
The marathon is just about seeing long term, seeing a vision, understanding that nothing really worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen. Laying a brick every day instead of trying to build a brick wall. Just lay a brick every day. Eventually you look up, you're gonna have a brick wall.
I've never been one of the people that could be comfortable being careless. Some people I notice the quality that they don't have, that they just don't have the I guess the pressure on themselves. They just have a little bit of a comfort that I don't have. I don't feel comfortable unless I know I went above and beyond with my preparation. The things that possibly could happen, if I ain't take real steps to prevent those things, I'm not comfortable. I can't walk around, charismatic and happy. Nah, I gotta make sure, we setting up some type of wealth, because we might have a little bag right now, but we know a lot of people had a bag right now and they ended up bad. We got a core business, which is for me music, but then it's about building an enterprise around it. And I think, that's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income. You can make music solely as an artist.
I was always a hustler. So when I talk to a young dude, I'm like, bro, my advice to you is going to be money advice. I don't going to get philosophical. Get religious advice. Bro, get you some money. You're going to feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. Get you a couple dollars, man. You're going to feel different.
Obviously, having a passion for music since day one, the dream and the vision was to, start a label and start a music movement, a music brand. And then just thinking like, as a chess player, assuming that we would have success in music, the next thing became, dang, what do we do next? And just looking at the blueprint that people like Jay and Puff laid, we like want to, offer our opinion into fashion. Yeah, so the actual brand, the name of the brand obviously is the Marathon. And it just stands for endurance. It stands for staying down. It stands for like not quitting, accepting the ups and downs of whatever game you commit yourself to and riding it out, you feel me? Because, you know, that's the reality of, you know, success or greatness, that it come with a roller coaster ride, you know? So I think that anybody could apply the marathon concept to what they do, if it's sports, if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's hustling, whatever, you're on a marathon, you know? So to make that the basis of our, you know, fashion line, I look at it like, you know, we honor the people that ain't quit. We honor the people that stay down.
You know, I be juggling. You know what I'm saying? I juggle a lot. I play a lot of positions. You know what I mean? So, my mentality when I do start to be like, damn, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, that's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward what the vision look like, and that's like greatness. That's, you know, on multiple levels. That's the vision that I'm working toward. So I'm like, I just think about that. Like, this shit ain't supposed to feel, you know, comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to be a burden to a degree. And you gotta, you know, wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it. And you catch some wisdom off of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get the walls. Nah, you know what I'm saying? We used to have the studio set up here, you know what I mean? And just motivation on the wall, you know what I mean? We brainstorm, round table. A lot of times if we ain't at the studio, we ain't at the shop, we come on Madden, you know what I'm saying? You gotta all money in, you know, stay focused. Quitting is not an option. 6 O's make $1 million. Big money only. You know, talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean? How hard are you really going? Different things that you wake up to, you know what I mean? When you're on this marathon. Words is powerful, you know? And I think that the ability to articulate, you know, you could really impact people. I think as human beings, everybody has a natural gift and a natural passion, but then you go outside and you get influenced and you feel pressure from what's going on outside. And so, you know, I read one time, like, would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or at peace with yourself and at war with the world? And that was powerful for me. Main, most important thing, number one, is you gotta get rid of doubt. If you got doubt in what you're doing, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And the way to do that is you have a plan. Because if you got a plan, it's not like just a pipe dream. You have a step-by-step list of things to do to get to your goal. If you don't have that, it's very hard to really have faith in what you're doing. Because soon as something pop up, it's gonna look like the end all. But if you got a game plan of everything you need to do, you know, one thing pop up, well, I still gotta do this, and that, so this ain't gonna stop me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing pop up, well, shit, I accomplished this 2 things. Since my last obstacle, I only got 3 more things to do. Let me keep pushing, fuck it. Pretty soon you attained your goal, and then you create another one. But without a game plan and without a strong sense of faith in what you're doing, it's gonna be real hard to accomplish anything. And I know, you know, it's a lot of obstacles out here. Family, baby mamas, the legal system, trouble with the law, you know, your homeboys being involved in a crab in the bucket syndrome, where, you know what I mean, you making moves and starting to make your way out, and people start trying to attach themselves to you and really become weight, you know what I'm saying, extra weight. And sometimes it's like kamikaze, they blow themselves up trying to stop you. So, you know, you gotta have faith in what you're doing and not take no for an answer. You'll get it. It'll be a long run, but you'll get it. For sure. You gotta go hard, you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta have a sense of humor and know that bullshit is gonna happen. You can't be too serious about it and too emotionally affected when bullshit happens. You have to just stick to the script, believe, have overwhelming confidence, be your own biggest fan, your own biggest believer, and put it on your back and carry the weight. You feel me? Success to me, I say it a lot, it's just being able to do what you love to do and support yourself off of it. Live your dream and do what you love to do every day. So I'm successful in my eyes, because I don't sell dope, I don't go to work, I do music and I love to do it. And that's all I had to do to maintain. Number one, you know, I just feel better, homie. I sleep better, you know what I mean? I got a level of, like, I'm at peace with what I'm doing. I feel good about what I'm waking up doing and about my lifestyle. At one point, I wasn't proud of my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't content with what I was doing on a day-to-day basis. I wasn't happy with that. So it was eating at me. Even though I'd be on the surface, cool and straight, deep down I knew that this wasn't the direction of what I need to be doing. Now I wake up with the feeling that I'm going in the direction that I'm here for. like what I'm on this planet for, I'm doing it. When you don't have resources, you in survival mode. You know, so being in survival mode automatically rules out a lot of things because you don't care about morality, because you don't experience morality. You experience, you know, the need to survive. You don't experience, you know, fairness. You don't experience planning for the future. You just experience my ribs touching. You know what I mean? And it's better me than you. And, you know, it's a survival instinct that kick in. So I think once you get out of the survival mode, your morals come back closer to your daily decision making. You start thinking about what's right and what do I believe in. But until you get out of survival mode, you ain't got time to be worrying about right and wrong. You worrying about bottom line. You know what I mean? By any means necessary. So I think that economics is the answer. Empowering people economically is how you really, really impact. But I don't know if it's about dropping a bag of money in the hood. I think it's about impacting culture in a way that, you know, the mentality changes. I couldn't make a blanket statement to just the young people doing dirt. I don't think that's honest. You know what I mean? It's context for everything. Nothing happens in a vacuum, you know? But I would say that, you know what I mean, you're gonna lay in the bed you make. You're not gonna get away with nothing in terms of the energy. You know what I mean? You might beat the camera or the police. They might not catch you for what you're doing, but the energy is always gonna return to you. So when you just living in this cycle of being negative all day and just putting out negativity and that's the only energy you putting out, it's gonna return to you in different form than you put it out in. So I would just say, you know, master your energy. Do your best to master your energy and what you put out, you know, and unless that's what you want, you know, because you entitled to whatever you want to create, whatever experience you want to create for yourself. But if you're tired of that shit, adjust the energy. You know what I mean? As best you can, adjust what you wake up thinking and what you say, and then lastly what you do. And that's not an easy thing to do because it's such a pressure in these areas to just go by the way things are. But you know, it's a lot of examples that you could look up to as young kids in the streets. You could look up to Kendrick Lamar. Not the words, forget what he's saying, just where he came from. I seen him, you could YouTube him freestyling in the Nickerson Garden Projects. You could look up to a Nip Hussle. You know, you could look up to any one of these guys that came from this hopelessness and you know, wiggled their way through it. You know what I mean? And you could reverse engineer what they did. You know, look at the steps, what happened.
The example I would like to set is by my demonstration. Like, yeah, you can get it. It wasn't no outlet for me. I was on Crenshaw and Slauson, I created an outlet. My trunk. You feel what I'm saying? Everything is cheap. The camera we filming this interview on is probably less than $200. You know what I mean? So you can definitely touch people for a small amount of money if that's what you want to do. It's no longer a $10,000 camera, $200,000 studio. It's not. That day and age is over with. The playing field is level. So if you got an idea and a game plan and you want to do something, you can really do it. And that's my example I set.
All my original goals, I met them. I had goals as somebody coming out the street. So I didn't have a hell of a entertainment set of goals. I never wanted to win a Grammy. That was not my goal coming out the street. Them is music goals now that I'm in the music game. That was never my goal. I never thought about selling 1 million records. I thought about, you know, doing something legit to make my money and being able to, you know, not worry about when I heard the helicopter late at night thinking they was coming to kick the door down. You know, I was like, I read an article that Joel Santana made $15,000 a show. I don't know if it was true or not, but I'm like, damn, you can make $15,000 a show? That's how I was thinking at that time. Like, you know, what we did as teenagers to make $15,000, you get a lot of years for it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, you could go do a tour where you make that every night. And then I remember looking at every state, like it's 50 states. If I could sell 1,000 units in each state, Indy, at $8 a unit, you know what I mean? I could make somewhere near $500,000 if I just figure out how to do that. And that was my little entry level goal. So, you know, we established and accomplished them things early and I had to redevelop my goals. Now that I was in the game and I learned niggas get $1 million a show, niggas get $500,000 a show. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that, you know, I knew, but I didn't think that it was realistic that you could really sell millions and millions of records and become a global brand. So as I became exposed to these situations, met these people that perform on that level, and like, you know, you ain't no smarter than me. You know what I'm saying? You just in a position. You just, you know, you sitting in a space where you can execute on that level. You know what I mean? I started reestablishing what my goals were. One thing I noticed about myself when I like, I think, you know, thoughts is powerful in all facets. Because even my career, even my life, you know, things end up turning out exactly how I visualized them. Not in this time frame I expected. You know what I'm saying? You always want shit to happen overnight. But, you know, I just had clear visions. You know, obviously outside of my girl. I just mean in music and hustling and just how I viewed myself as an adult when I was a young dude coming up. And your thoughts powerful. That shit, you know, come to life if you stick to your script. Creative destruction, a risky business of going against the grain. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. I don't know, it's radicals, you know what I'm saying?
Long-winded, running through this life like it was mine. Never settling, but setting every goal high. 1,000 burpees on the path to my own destruction or success. But what is a mistake without the lesson? See, the best teacher in life is your own experience. None of us know who we are until we fail. They say every man is defined by his reaction to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Whatever you do, homie, give your heart to it and stay strong. Stay strong.